had never been so out of place in my life. The observation deck of the starliner Alindra was a panorama of swirling galaxies, nebulae that pulsed like living hearts, and asteroid belts that shimmered in fractal light. Everywhere I looked, beings of every imaginable species filled the deck, tall and thin, short and round, bioluminescent, metallic, some with more limbs than I had ever seen on a living creature. And yet, amidst all this interstellar grandeur, I felt the crushing weight of my own mundanity. I was human, alone, and painfully aware that I didn't belong. I wandered past tables where alien dignitaries sipped iridescent fluids from crystalline chalices. I glanced at their faces, trying not to draw attention. I was searching for a seat, anywhere at all, but every chair seemed claimed, every corner spoken for. That's when I saw her. She wasn't like the other aliens. Not entirely. Her eyes were immense, liquid amber, with flecks of gold that seemed to capture the starlight itself. Her skin shimmered faintly, a hue I couldn't name, somewhere between pearlescent violet and liquid silver, and her hair flowed in strands that floated as though underwater, moving with a life of their own. And she was staring directly at me. I froze. Not out of fear, but because the way she looked at me made my brain misfire. She wasn't curious, exactly, or even interested. She was commanding. Then she moved. Before I could think, she crossed the observation deck with a grace that defied gravity, her presence parting the crowd like water around a stone. I opened my mouth to apologize or explain that I was intruding, but she stopped in front of me, her hand reaching out. Her fingers closed around my wrist. "Sit here," she said. Her voice wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. Somehow, it filled my mind without noise, pressing an undeniable insistence into my thoughts. I stumbled, my knees weak. She guided me, not harshly, but with an authority I had never experienced, toward a chair that sat at the very center of the deck, a pedestal of woven light and energy. It hummed beneath her touch. "Sit." I obeyed. She settled across from me, her eyes never leaving mine. "You are human," she stated. Not a question. Not a judgment. Just a fact, as simple and unyielding as gravity. "Yes," I croaked. My throat was dry. I am." She nodded, as if satisfied, then gestured subtly to a transparent screen that appeared above the table. Images flickered, stars, ships, and worlds I had never seen. "You have been chosen," she said. "To witness something. To participate." I swallowed. "Chosen? I don't understand." Her gaze intensified. Few humans leave their system, let alone survive the passage through the nebula veil. "You are rare. And rare things are necessary here." I wanted to ask necessary for what, but before I could, the room itself seemed to dissolve. The observation deck vanished. The stars became points of light streaking past as though we were moving through space at impossible speed. The chair beneath me molded to my body, anchoring me, keeping me tethered as we accelerated. Where are we going?" I whispered. "To see," she said. And then softer, almost secretively, "To understand." Time became meaningless. I could see the slow burn of supernovae in real time, the swirl of black holes bending starlight like glass. And all the while she watched me, her expression unreadable but her presence suffocatingly intimate. I realized that I had never been so aware of anyone, or anything, since I was a child staring at the night sky from my backyard. Finally, we arrived. It was a world suspended in darkness, illuminated by what looked like living rivers of energy flowing across its surface. The landscape was alien and terrifying. Mountains arched like bones, forests pulsed with light, and in the skies floated enormous creatures, translucent and luminescent, gliding in silence. "This is Arinder," she said, "capital of the Sashari. And I am Lyra." Her title, princess, came not with ceremony but with an unspoken weight. Somehow, the world itself bowed beneath it. I looked at her, bewildered. You're a queen?" "Soon," she replied. "For now, I am the observer. And you are the witness." I blinked, unsure how to respond. "Witness of what?" She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she raised her hand, and the landscape of Arinder shifted. A structure rose from the ground, a tower of crystal and metal, impossibly tall, radiating energy that made the air vibrate in my chest. Creatures swarmed around it, conducting strange rituals, communicating in patterns of light. This tower holds the knowledge of my people, she explained. And the danger. And the choice that will decide the future of all. I swallowed hard. The future of all? She nodded. Including your kind. Humans. I felt my stomach knot. I don't understand. Why me? Because you do not belong, she said. And because, paradoxically, your kind can. You see things differently. You act differently. And now, the universe demands difference. She gestured again. Holographic panels materialized around the tower, displaying a war that had raged across galaxies for centuries. Fleet against fleet, species against species, and at the center of it, a figure I recognized only in silhouette, Lyra herself. She was commanding the armies, orchestrating chaos and strategy with precision. This is my burden, she whispered. And now yours too, in a way you cannot yet grasp. You will help me decide. I swallowed. My hands shook. Decide what? The outcome. She leaned closer, and the space between us seemed to hum. The universe is at a tipping point. The Sashari cannot win alone, nor can any other species. There must be a choice made. A selection, a balance. And that choice will involve your actions. I felt dizzy, my mind scrambling to keep up. What do you want me to do? Watch, she said. Learn. Understand the currents, the alliances, the betrayals. Then when the time comes, act. But not from your mind alone. From your humanity. From your instincts. From what makes you human. For hours, perhaps days. I don't know, I observed. I saw alliances crumble, impossible strategies unfold, and beings die with the elegance and horror of inevitability. I learned to read the currents of politics, the subtleties of interspecies conflict, and the raw pulse of emotion that even the most advanced intellect could not suppress. And all the while, Lyra sat across from me, sometimes silent, sometimes speaking just enough to clarify a point, her fingers occasionally brushing mine in a gesture that was both casual and intimate, grounding me. Then came the moment. A fleet approached Arinder from an uncharted quadrant, weapons capable of annihilation, their intent unmistakable. Lyra rose, her aura blazing like a sun. It is time. She gestured to me. You will choose the first strike. Where and how and why. Your decision will save lives, or destroy them. I froze. My mind screamed at me to run, to hide, to refuse, but I remembered her hand on my wrist, her command, her gaze. I remembered the weeks, or was it months? Of watching, learning, understanding. And I realized she had prepared me not for strategy, but for judgment. I took a deep breath. We can't destroy them, I said almost instinctively. We have to redirect them. Trap them, contain them, and give them a choice. Like you said, humanity first. Lyra's eyes widened. You understand. I nodded. I think I do. With a gesture, she amplified my command across the Sashari fleet. Energy barriers rose, fleets maneuvered, and the incoming force was contained without destruction. I watched the alien pilots, trapped but alive, and realized that for the first time, I had truly acted with the power of life in my hands, and chosen mercy over might. Lyra smiled. You see now why you were chosen. I exhaled, feeling the weight of everything lift slightly. I think I do. She reached across the console and took my hand again. Sit here, she said softly, echoing her first command, but now it was no longer an order. It was an invitation. I did. And for the first time since boarding the Alindra, I felt as though I belonged. The galaxies spun endlessly beyond the observation deck, stars winking in and out like ancient eyes. And beside me, the alien princess, Lyra, soon-to-be queen, shared the silence, and the knowledge that in the vast, chaotic expanse of the universe, two unlikely beings had made a choice that could shape everything to come. And I realized as I sat there, that belonging wasn't about species, or rank, or history. It was about presence. It was about being needed, being understood, and sometimes being commanded to sit exactly where you were meant to be. And for me that place was here.